The Doll's House by Rumer Godden, Chapter 13. It was winter when Totty came back to the doll's house. If you would like to know how winter looks to a doll, imagine yourself as looking into a crystal ball. A ball of glass in which a Christmas frost snowstorm is being shaken down on a little splintered trees and cardboard houses. Children were given these snowstorm balls when great-great-aunt Laura and Emily's and Charlotte's great-great-grandmother were young. Winter looks like that to dolls because they are not often taken out in the winter, and they see the snow and snowflakes through the window panes of glass. Totty came back, and it was winter, but so far there was no snow. Emily and Charlotte took her with them when they went to Mrs. Innisfree's house to fetch the couch and chairs. Totty ought to go because it was Totty who really got the chairs for us, said Emily. Are the couch and chairs really coming, Totty? Asked Mr. Plantagenet. We have been wishing and wishing. I have never really stopped wishing, said Mr. Plantagenet. But it was you who got them for us, Totty, he said. Dear Totty, but I should have been quite content with cotton reels, said Bertie. Oh, Bertie, dear, said Mr. Plantagenet impatiently. Sometimes he finds it hard to be patient with Bertie. Apple was not there. He had a plan, unknown to Totty, that he might climb up to the doll's house chimney. He thought he might climb up the ivy. It looked so real, but of course it was painted too flat, and the paint was far too slippery. Emily made Totty a cotton wool cap and a cotton wool muff to go out in, as it was beginning to be bitterly cold. But we are cozy in the doll's house, said Mr. Plantagenet. The whiteness of the cotton wool looked pretty with Totty's glossy black hair and painted cheeks. She shone with happiness. Bertie did not want a cap or a muff. She wanted a feather boa. What is a boa? Asked Apple, forgetting the ivy. It is a long scarf, but made out of feathers, and it is round all the way down, explained Totty. Like a caterpillar? Asked Apple, who had seen a caterpillar in the park. Yes, a caterpillar would make a very good boa for Bertie, said Totty. If it were made of feathers, said Bertie, but it's not. Totty was carried along to Mrs. Innisfree's on the palm of Charlotte's hand. Charlotte had on a red woolen glove. Totty had on her red woolen cloak, her cap and muff. They went well together. It was a clear, pale, cold, sunny day. The bare branches of the trees in the park stood out against a clear, pale sky. The cold touched Totty's cheeks, and the sunlight made them glisten. Emily and Charlotte were talking of Christmas, and Totty was suddenly reminded of a little sunshade, a parasol, not made like the walking doll's parasol from satin, but of paper from a cracker. I saw one long ago, said Totty. It was as gay as a little paper wheel. How Bertie would love that, thought Totty. How I should like to give her one for Christmas. She would like it better than the feather boa, but you don't see them nowadays. I wish, said Totty, sitting on Charlotte's hand. And for Apple, a marble. A marble would make him a good ball. And for Darner, a tiddlywinks plate, a nice big purple one. And for Mr. Plantagenet, I wish they would think of getting him a toy post office, thought Totty. Then he could go to business, and if he went to business every day, he would be very happy. I wish and wish they would get him a toy post office. When they arrived in Mrs. Innisfree's house, Totty forgot even about Christmas and Christmas presents. There, on the table in Mrs. Innisfree's drawing room, were the couch and chairs. Emily did not recognize them. Charlotte did not recognize them. Totty did not recognize them. Their wood, having been carefully sandpapered, had been polished by Mrs. Innisfree's French polisher until it shone with the real wood furniture, dark wood shine of its own. Then the petit-point seats and arms and backs had been fastened over new cushions. Mrs. Innisfree had worked the cream background and the tiny roses and leaves. She had even worked their shadings, though the flowers were scarcely bigger than knots or dots. Oh, cried Emily. Oh, cried Charlotte. Oh, cried Totty. Oh, it was worth going to the exhibition. Even the Queen's doll's house, said Emily, hasn't a better set than that. Yes, that is perfectly right, said Totty. She felt now that she knew something about queens. Then Mrs. Innisfree put down on the table 2 pairs of fine white lace curtains, each curtain 6 inches long. I saw the piece of lace, she said. It was the right width and just the right length, and there is a piece 3 inches over. So I made an apron for Totty. Do you see, Emily? The lace is worked with ferns. Your great-grandmother's drawing room might easily have had lace curtains worked with ferns. They were very fashionable then. We shall keep them always. We shall never change them, said Emily solemnly, nor will our children's children. Do you suppose Toddy will see them? Asked Charlotte. I mean our children's children, not the chairs. She may, said Emily. That makes me think, said Charlotte, and she added, I seem to have been thinking a great deal of thinking lately. It was a solemn morning. Mrs. Innisfree and Emily did an account, and it seems that the cost of the lace curtains, of Mrs. Innisfree's French polisher and upholsterer, and of the silks and canvas for the chairs came to 8 and 10 pence, which was just the money they had had in their money boxes, though Charlotte now had the 6 pence for her tooth, and Emily had saved another half-crown. I believe you are saying 8 and 10 pence, said Emily, looking hard at Mrs. Innisfree, because you knew it was 8 and 10 pence that we had, said Emily. And if I am, said Mrs. Innisfree, if I enjoy it? And we can't pay you for the time, said Charlotte, nor for the thinking. I wonder what makes thinking, said Charlotte. It's funny how one thing begins another, and how it all leads on, said Emily. Yes, it joins, said Charlotte, wrinkling her forehead. I've been thinking of thinking, and there is no knowing where it leads to, or when it will end, or where. End of chapter 13.